This content is based on telepathic communication between the 9th density collective of Ra and the conduit Joe. Welcome to the Book of Ekesh. Since you are living in the 3rd density, polar opposites and dualistic experiences are integral to your reality. Wherever you go and whatever you do, important decisions pile up and must be made. As the incarnation cycle progresses, these conflicting energies propel you toward the way of neutrality. Since all are inhuman avatars to eventually ascend, there is no need to think of the way of polarity or neutrality as being better than the other. Both paths have their time. In the previous chapter, we discussed the necessity of accepting polarity as an inherent part of life. You have incarnated into the 3rd density to live your life to the fullest. It may seem contradictory, then, to hear that to ascend to the next realm, you must rise above the game you are playing. Yet, within this paradox lies the key to unlocking the 3rd door. Fortunately, this process is simpler than it seems. While entirely stepping out of the game is impossible, the solution lies in your approach to the drama unfolding around you. Do you feel the need to engage, or have you reached the level of acceptance and in time even non-engagement when applicable? The way of neutrality offers peace of mind. The path of ascension is one of non-judgment and neutrality. Staying neutral in conflict does not mean suppressing your opinions or pretending they do not exist. As a human, you will have opinions shaped by your worldview and life experiences. However, you can rise above these opinions and live from a higher place. Keep in mind that the way of neutrality is far more challenging than taking sides and engaging in polarity. It is easy to align with a side and find comfort in like-minded individuals who validate your perspective. Such groups often seek to persuade others to join their cause, and this collective validation can feel empowering. But ask yourself, do you truly need the support of others to succeed in life? Could neutrality be a position of strength, one that reveals inner fortitude and character? You might crave external support if you define success as being showered with love, appreciation, rewards, and accolades. However, the path of neutrality calls for letting go of worldly success and choosing inner peace instead. This is why most people do not embrace neutrality until they are spiritually ready to ascend to the next density. Until that moment, the ego remains in charge, and a journey dominated by the ego has its unmistakable markers. While connected to a physical avatar, the ego will always play a role. Transcending the ego means observing it without being controlled by it. To become the observer is to walk the path of neutrality. The ego is, in fact, a key of its own, the 8-1. As you live day to day, you work with all the keys simultaneously. They are not always easy to separate. This is the art of the 10th key, which unites all paths into oneness. People often ask, should one simply watch while defenseless people are hurt? Should one avoid participating in wars or voting in elections? This is a misunderstanding. The path of neutrality does not mean distancing yourself from the world. On the contrary, you are asked to live fully in the present and give your attention only to what you want to see more of. When conflict arises, your aim is not to pick sides, but to choose an approach that fosters peace of mind and harmony among beings. This is where the bifurcation becomes clear. You can still vote without becoming emotionally attached to the result. You accept reality for what it is, understanding that while others take the game seriously, you do not need to do so. Suffering is inherent to the third density. The only way to end suffering is to avoid becoming entangled in conflicts and drama. Instead, seek like-minded individuals to co-create a new way of living. Do your best to stay out of conflicts, but never become a victim of circumstances. Stand up for your unique form of neutrality. Neutrality means maintaining a clear, calm mind when others cannot. It means navigating through the fog with the awareness that everyone you encounter is a fractal of source energy. However, since not all beings are aware of this, they often perceive strangers as enemies, or at the very least, potential threats. Always remember, the path of neutrality does not mean failing to stand up for yourself. Instead, it means refusing to engage with lower energies and choosing the higher ground. Yet, when those energies disrupt your frequency and inner peace, you must engage. Not out of anger, but from a place of self-preservation and clarity. The path of neutrality is for those who have outgrown the third density game. Those who still enjoy the game will not understand the neutral path. They may label it weak, utopian, or delusional. But neutrality is not the absence of strength. It is the embodiment of true inner power, reserved for those ready to rise above the simulation. When a collective reaches this understanding, they can create institutions, organizations, companies, and even nations that serve as balancing forces. In a third density setting, examples include Switzerland. Historically, Finland and Sweden have also embraced neutrality. While geopolitical neutrality has little to do with spirituality, it still reflects a different approach to conflicts than most countries follow. The principle of neutrality is prevalent across the cosmos. Most beings in the universe have chosen the positive path of service to others. Yet, there are always those who predominantly serve themselves. Conflicts between these groups are not always resolvable through diplomacy. However, the art of diplomacy is rooted in neutrality, creating win-win scenarios that honor the interests of all parties. In this sense, the path of neutrality is also the path of cosmic harmony. It offers not only a solution to interstellar conflicts, but also propels collectives forward on their ascension journeys. Even higher density beings play a game of duality, albeit on a vastly different level than third density humanity. The Buddhist middle way exemplifies divine neutrality. It does not call for withdrawing from life, but rather provides a path to navigate it while reducing suffering. In the fifth density, you are already a master creator. You do not create suffering for yourself, and consistently use your power to ascend to higher states of being. When conflict arises and reaches your shores, you respond in two ways. By protecting your own community as an act of service to the collective, and by supporting others from a neutral foundation. This neutrality allows all parties to choose their preferred polarity or to embrace neutrality itself. That choice depends on the consciousness level of the collective. Always remember, we are all one consciousness. When one rises, we all rise.